All right, we call this meeting back to order at 10:35. Kevin, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. President Mark Shepard.
Present.
President Mark Shepard is present. I myself, my president Kevin Hill, is present. Treasurer of Finance Jason Cole.
Present.
Treasurer of Finance Jason Cole is present. Pride and STEM Club. Mesa Club. Engineering Club.
Present.
Engineering Club is present. There's one more I'm forgetting. I always forget. Model UN. Is Model UN present? All right, Model UN is not present. Any other clubs that were missed in the roll call? All right, hearing none and seeing none. Attendance has been taken. There are 3 out of 3 executive officers present.
Awesome, thank you very much. Go ahead and move on to the next on the agenda. This is the adoption of the agenda. It was uploaded on Instagram. And if there's no objections, we'll go ahead and approve the agenda. Hearing and seeing none, the agenda is approved. Move on to approval of the minutes, February 22nd. February 22nd's minutes will be postponed until next week due to technical issues. So if there's objections, we'll go ahead and postpone February 22nd minutes till next week. Hearing seeing none, this has been postponed till next week. Move on to chair's message. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I think we are in week 6, halfway through 7, if I'm not mistaken. Super excited you guys joined us. I appreciate you guys joining this meeting. Later on, we'll be talking about the club day for March and the We Care event collaboration with Student Senate. Appreciate the opportunity and your time for coming to this meeting and figuring this stuff out and how we can increase our student engagement. With that being said, Brett, pass it on to you.
All right, y'all. Happy Tuesday. A few announcements just real quick. I don't know if you all got a message through e-services or your student emails from the chancellor about the mask mandate. So beginning Monday, the 14th, masks are no longer required to enter buildings on campus, gym, your classroom. They're going with the public health experts on that. However, the chancellor's message, if you haven't seen it, did stress that people are still encouraged to wear masks, not to be shamed, anything like that. So you'll see, if you're on campus, you're going to see people with masks, you're going to see people without masks. That will start Monday. So a heads up, an FYI for anyone that's watching the recording, to be prepared for that, especially if you're on an on-ground course. The CLD here, the Center for Leadership and Development, I realize some of you haven't been here in a long time. Others of you have never seen this place. I know for Senate, I don't think anyone has seen this space except Mark and Stacy. It is completely cleared out. We finally got all the furniture out of here. The ASB offices are going to move at some point soon, and I believe there's going to be a furniture bill on the March 18th Senate meeting. So more to come on that, but excited about this space. Hopefully we can reopen it sooner rather than later. No update on the student center yet, but I have a feeling with that mask mandate being lifted that the student center might open sooner rather than later. So more to come on that. With that, with all the changes, the old club room that some of you might remember had a storage room with club's belongings. I have been tasked to get that out of there. So I'm going to send a message to every club advisor and president I have. There's like 60, 70 clubs, and some clubs are active, some aren't. So I don't know who's going to see that email, but by mid-April, I need to have all that stuff out of that room. So just be on the lookout for that. 2 more updates. ASB elections are now open. So for those of you that would like to run for office for next academic year, that Google form is live. Students can apply. 5 units at ARC, 2.0 GPA. There's also a link that I can get to anyone interested on the student trustee application. That is also live. So a lot happening in student life these days. And I know we're going to talk about an event here in a few. So with that being said, the last update, I have 4 clubs still trying to charter, and they're trying to get students involved. I'm working with their advisors. I know it's late in the year, but I'm encouraging them to do it anyway. So we might have a bigger audience here, bigger participation. Some of the clubs want to come to that event on the 24th, even though they're not chartered. You all can discuss that, but I'm all for anyone that wants to get a table out here. So I think that's it. Happy Tuesday. I hope school's going well, and I'll turn it back to Mark. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the clubs and events board on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per a speaker shall be observed, with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Clubs and Events Board may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASBK president for the item of discussion placed on a future agenda. At this time, do we have any public comment? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to appointments and swearing in. We have no appointments and swearing in at the moment. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item 10.1, Club Day Planning March. Right now, I'm seeking a motion to discuss item 10.1.
I move to discuss item 10.1.
I second.
Awesome. With it being moved and seconded, would you like to go ahead and start off or pass it on?
I'll go ahead and pass it on.
All right. Technically, by the technical rules, it actually goes off to the person who seconded the motion. Would you like to discuss or?
I'll
Pass
pass
it.
it on. Pass
Awesome.
it on. Yeah.
All right, like I mentioned last week in the meetings, that this will be a reoccurring unfinished item until up to the time that we actually have the event. Just to kind of recap for the club day planning, Kevin, do you mind if I call on to you to kind of give us an update on item 10.1?
Hey, give me one second to set up real fast. I just got on campus. Okay. So, club day. So, as we know, we tried to have club day a couple months or last month. Our big issue was timing and planning, essentially. So, what I've been doing for the past month is just creating a mock sketch of what footage to look like. Pretty much, we have to cover a couple of key aspects of club day. So we need to decide what we're doing for food, what a theme is, what we're doing for decorations, and how we're gonna get the clubs involved. So then I get into my computer, it'll be one moment. I can screen share the ideas I have. It's gonna take me a second if you want to keep talking about club day, Mark, like what the goals are for it. All right, so for club. So screen share is gonna take a second right now, but what I can tell you what I have as of right this moment. So I have it planned out for being in front of the CLMD. This is a common place we used to do club day back when we did it when we were on ground still. It's like our comfort area essentially. What we do is we kind of, if you've ever been on campus, there's like a small, like, I don't know how I would describe it. It's like a patio area on the side of the side of the student center. And we usually take that over with tables, banners, and whatnot. And we use that as kind of like our operations for club day. So what idea I had in mind was we're utilizing that space still. The idea is still flexible to where we can, if we need to, we can go to the sim center. But and the goal for this design that I have is to keep it as open as possible so that we can have visitors walk in and out as possible and without causing any hazards. All right, I'm connected. And so give me one moment. I'll be able to show you the screen of what I have so far. Mark, do I have screen sharing privileges?
You will in 1 second. Boom. Kevin and share I think that's sharing mine. Zoom will have access to all information visible. No. 1 second, stand by, please.
Yep.
This meeting is being recorded.
Zoom is being a little tricky, so I'm just going to go ahead and just make you host. There you go. You should be able to share your screen now.
All righty. Can everyone hear me still?
Yep.
It says host disabled screen sharing. It's saying you disable screen sharing.
Do you need me to send it to your other one?
Oh, the screen sharing is not important. I can send a screen. I can send a screenshot of what it looks like. So we have the CLMD kind of all decorated out. Actually, I have it back here. I'm on my phone too. So it's gonna look very choppy, and you'll see my face running. So here's the design I have for Club Day. So make sure I can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So right here is going to be the side of the CLMD. So we have these like 3 flower pot barriers right here that we're going to use as table separators. So if you look closely at this, which I'll send out to everyone, each table is like labeled how many tables we're going to have. So I built this layout for having up to 20 tables. But we can also add tables at this back part right here if we have extra clubs, as well as this other side of the wall right here. But most important about Club Day is like getting things done. So I created a list of task items that we need to get done. So those are getting music, advertising, tables, if we're getting food, and then just advertise and then just getting the word out about it. So in the next week's meeting, I'll be sending out or proposing a bill for $500 for our budget for this. I think $500 is a reasonable budget for a club day. Especially with it, I don't think it's gonna be like a super high scale club day. I think it's gonna be more just like a welcome back type thing. And hopefully that we get students to see that we're actually doing work on campus. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd love feedback. That'd be very helpful. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a question. Do we know about a flyer? Maybe we can possibly create a collaboration and have access, everybody have access to kind of look over it and see what we need to add on there and how we want to do that? Or does anybody
Like a flyer or the document I have itself?
like a flyer that maybe we can put on IG or Discord?
I think it'd be up to if anyone wants to do one themselves. I can do it if no one else wants to do it. I can make one. I don't mind doing it. Well, there's a chance for like other clubs to get involved as well, because something we've been lacking this semester is club involvement and club assistance. And C.A.E.B really can't run about the club's help. So unlike the boards like Senate, where we have like a giant board, it's really just the 3 executive officers here and the clubs that join the meetings. Just putting that out there.
Would anybody like to take on a task of help drafting up a flyer? I just see it in the chat. Brett said he can ask the sages to make one too. That'd be awesome.
I can help Kevin make one.
Awesome, Kevin. Maybe you can create a document and share it with myself and Jason to kind of help go over it, and we can all kind of look at it and see what it's transitioning to, and maybe provide some suggestions. I just asked that maybe not change anything particularly on the flyer, but if you have a suggestion, send an email, or I'm pretty sure that there's capability of commenting on the flyer as a side note. So that way
good.
there's not 10 people trying to change a flyer.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe just share the commenting section on the doc. So Kevin and Jason will be tasked with drafting up a flyer. I'll put my input in as well. Any other discussions on item 10.1? Just want to clarify real quick. So it's the 24th, correct? And we did say the 24th, right?
I mean, that works for me if we didn't say it already. I thought it was the 24th.
I could have sworn it's the 24th, yeah. And what time did we solidify a time?
I don't think we have. Personally, in my experience, I feel like the time like 11 to 1 works out pretty well. If we're gonna be on ground.
Okay.
So the time that most students are either on campus, like eating lunch or something, or they're in between classes because there's fewer classes during that time.
I think that would be smart, as far as, more potential of grabbing their attention, while they're eating lunch or possibly on their way to their next class, would be the best time to do it. Do we need to, Kevin, reach out to operations and request any hard materials, tables, chairs, etc.?
I'm doing that today.
Okay. And I
Mark,
did, yes.
real quick. So I think at Senate, when you brought this up, they threw out Wednesday as well, the 23rd, because that's when the campus is open, like all the programs 9 to 6. However, update that I forgot to share, the Welcome and Support Center starting next week is going to be open 9 to 5. And the library is 8:30 to 4:30. So there will be hopefully more traffic on that Thursday now, because all the more programs are open all day long as opposed to 3 hours.
Correct. I'm glad you mentioned that. So let's get a set date right now with the board. I do, now that I'm refreshing my memory. I think the 23rd probably would be better because there is more traffic and things are open later. If there's no objections, do we want to go ahead and change the date to the 23rd?
We do the 23rd. To be well aware, I will not be there, so I'll have to get someone else all my planning documents for it, and they have to set it up themselves.
Okay, and how about 11 to 2? 11 to 1.
Sounds fine with me.
11 to 2. Okay, the 23rd from 11 to 2 will be the set date and time for March Club Day. Any other discussions, comments, questions?
Wait, hold on.
ideas?
Sorry. Question.
Yes.
I asked this only because some of you know I have a bazillion things on my plate. So Kevin said he can't make the 23rd, correct?
Did you say that, David?
I will be on a business trip in Vegas. I will not be back until the 23rd at like 9 p.m.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, never mind then.
If we did the 24th, I just foresee how my life has been the last, well, 2 years really, but this semester. Anybody we could get to help. So if Kevin can do the 24th, we might want to think about that if he's not too Vegased out.
I mean, I plan to be here for the 24th, so
Oh, okay.
So what I was saying, Mark, I'm sorry, was
Okay.
now that these services are open on Thursday, like the library and the Welcome Support Center, so that's financial aid, business office, CalWorks, EOPNS, DSPS, Trio, right? We could now technically do Thursday and not worry so much about only being open 3 hours. So if folks can still do the 24th, that would be my advice to do. Gives another day to plan, and it gets another person here to help with on-ground stuff.
All right. If there's no objections or any issues, then we will go back and change the date to the 24th. Then, do we mind doing the time from 11 to 2 instead of from 11 to 1?
Sounds good to me.
And everybody else, oh my good. Yep. Thumbs up. Brett, sound good. Awesome. All right, so now the official date will be the 24th. The official time will be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let me make sure there's nothing else that I need to cover on that. Kevin, just to clarify, we'll reach out to operations to schedule tables and chairs and etc. Jason, Kevin, and myself, and anybody else that would love to, are going to collaborate together to draft a flyer. Anything else that I'm missing? Brett, that might have to go through your office.
The operations request.
Okay. All right. All righty. Any other comments, questions, concerns for unfinished business item 10.1 Club Day March before we move on? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Kevin, your planning looks astronomical as always. Thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate everybody else taking their time to make this a successful on-ground event. I'm super excited. I'll pass on the information to Melanie because I know she was on a side note asking when our next possible club day would be. So I know she'll be super excited and she'll probably make sure she swings by. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next item on unfinished business, which would be item 10.2. We carry event collaboration with Senate. At this time, I'm seeking a motion to discuss item 10.2.
I move to discuss item 10.2.
I second.
Awesome. Item 10.2 has been moved and seconded. Jason, would you like to discuss it?
I'll go ahead and pass it off to Daniel.
I'll go ahead and pass it off.
All right, awesome. Just to give an everybody update on item 10.2. I spoke with Student Senate on Friday meeting and kind of got some feedback. Pardon me, but I don't have my normal notebook with all my notes, and I know Brett is pretty good about keeping notes. Brett, any information that you'd like to share on? I know we discussed it a little bit, to kind of refresh my memory and such. Do you recall?
I'm sorry, what item? I know it's 10.2. I don't have the
10.2.
agenda in front of me.
The We Carry event collaboration. I know that operations has plenty of masks and stuff, and I know that they were already handing them out into the classrooms. I know that Stacy, I know we discussed about feminine items and such, and safe sex items and such, because the health department has plenty of those. So my question is was there anything that I might be missing that we discussed?
Not that I know of. I
Okay.
get nervous. I mean, I don't want to dive into, like, I'm not a public health expert, but like, we're lifting mask mandates, right? And everything, which I guess is good. We're trying to come out of this pandemic, but who knows what the next variant's going to come along. So do we buy that stuff? Do we not buy that stuff? I don't know. I don't have an answer. So yeah, that's kind of my update. I don't really have much on that.
Okay. I think if there's no objections, I'm gonna go ahead and postpone item 10.2 until next week, just to kind of give myself and others some more time to. I need to reach back out to Stacy, and we did have a one-on-one phone call, but like I said, I apologize. I don't have my handy dandy notebook with my notes in front of me at this present moment. So if there's no objections, can we go ahead and postpone item 10.2 till next week? Okay, hearing and seeing that, we'll go ahead and postpone item 10.2, the We Care event collaboration with Student Senate until next week. And then I'll have a better update on that. All right, go ahead and move on to new business. Item 10.3, updates to club reports. At this time, I'm seeking a motion to discuss item 10.3.
I move to discuss and take action on item 10.3.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. The individual making the motion or approving the motion would like to speak.
Alright, so I'm not really familiar about this. So I'll just give all my 2 cents about it real fast. The idea of this is to have more participation in the board and more discussion, because essentially this is our, just since we're not on campus physically as of yet completely, this is like our own time to meet with each other and talk about what's happening and what we're doing on campus. And it's very important that we use like our opportunities that we have to discuss what's happening, what struggle we might be having, and how we can help each other. So I think it's going into what Mark wants to do with this topic, but that's all I'm going to say. So I'll pass it on to, I believe Daniel seconded. So I'll pass on to Daniel.
I'm gonna pass it off.
All right, awesome. My idea on this was, as Kevin was mentioning, us being remote, the board and are unfamiliar with what's going on with clubs. So basically what it is I'm asking, and this does not have to be every week or anything like that. If the C.A.E.B representatives who are representing the club, maybe every other week, could possibly draft up just a simple document to have the opportunity to let the whole entire board know what that club or what your club is doing, any events that are coming up, maybe with a timeline. So basically like a homework, some homework assignment for the board. Even though that there is an opportunity for board member reports, sometimes you might not have that relevant information at that present time. So this kind of gives the C.A.E.B representatives an opportunity to go back to their club and kind of gather some information on what's going on. So if there's no objections, I would like to kind of make this a standing thing, maybe every other week. Just kind of send an email to myself, and then I will share screen and kind of draft one big document for each club on what they're doing. And that also gives us an opportunity for clubs to be able to see what the other clubs are doing, and who knows, possibly collaborate with that club. Brett, I have a question. That shouldn't be an issue, right? To make this a kind of like a requirement, at least every other week.
I would go a step further. I like what you're doing. I'd go a step further and say every club needs to participate, like share an update in order to receive the club points. But that's just me. So I think that's a good start. It's nice to know what clubs are doing, working on. I hear some stuff via email or through an advisor, but this is the formal place to update the board and the public of what clubs are up to. So I'm all for it.
Okay. All right. So like starting now, and then report back next week. So that gives everybody, the clubs, 1 week to reach out to their clubs representatives and their members, president, vice president, and such. Provide a simple Google Doc. It doesn't have to be a long, document. Just something simple so that way we have the opportunity to share internal and to the public. So I will be looking forward to receiving emails from all the clubs. I will be drafting an email and sending it out to all of the chartered clubs requesting the same information. Even though that some of the clubs don't have a C.A.E.B representative, I still would like to know what's going on, so that way we can share it to the public and to ourselves. So if you guys could take note on that, and have a report back by next Tuesday. I'm asking if you could have it at least sent to me by Monday, so then that way I can kind of copy paste and put it on one doc, so that way it would be easier for me to share internally and with the public, since this meetings are recorded. That gives the opportunity for the outside to view what's going on. Any questions on item 10.3? All right. Hearing none, seeing none, I'll be looking forward to receiving some emails and some information on what your club is doing. And if you know any other representatives for the other clubs that don't attend the C.A.E.B meetings, feel free to please pass on this information to them. Like I said, I will be drafting up an email and sending it out within the next day or so, just to kind of give everybody an opportunity to have some time to draft that document. Once again, just so I can reiterate, it doesn't need to be a long formal document or information, just maybe a timeline of what events, what your club's working on, anything important that you think you would like to share that we need to know. This also gives the opportunity for the public to join the club, and maybe they see something that piques their interest, that'll help engage with the student body. So if there's no objections or issues, be hopefully receiving some emails and some information on what your club is doing. With that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is committee reports. At this time, we do not have any committee reports to report to. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is similar to what I was just speaking about. Board member reports and announcements. This time is reserved for board members to inform the board about relevant campus-wide events and to report any pertaining community progress activities. A time of 3 minutes per report shall be observed. Once again, at this time, this is the opportunity for the clubs to voice what their club is doing, or share any relevant information. So I'm gonna leave it open to the floor right now and give this opportunity for any clubs that would like to share any information or reports.
I can say something a bit about so SHIP right now. We were gonna hold a social event the weekend after club day. That's something that's in the works right now. And we're also working towards a Dia de Ciencias, which will happen late April for high school students to teach them about financial aid, get them interested in STEM, and kind of inform them about the different career paths and they can take. So those are two things that we're working on right now.
Any other clubs have a report or announcement information on what they're doing? All right, hearing and seeing none, just want to reiterate again that this board member reports is the opportunity for you to share. Just like, so if you have any information, please feel free to type it in the chat if you don't want to speak on it, or send an email, etc. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the clubs and events board on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB clubs and events board may briefly respond for statements made, for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact ASBK president for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. At this time, is there any public comment? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is adjournment. If there are no objections, we will go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:13. Hearing none, seeing no objections, this meeting is now adjourned at 11:13.